Welcome back, guys. I hope you guys had a fantastic week, and I hope that you have put in the work, you have done all the activities as per your checklist, and you tick the checklist on a daily basis. The whole point of getting you guys to log the EYA entries with the changes that we made last week was to prepare you for what's coming next. If you have made the entries as I have advised you without your knowledge, what has happened is every time you log down an anger incident, you have become stronger and more mindful about the feelings you experience in these incidents involving anger. Also, by now, you have practiced metta thoughts and impermanence thoughts as a meditation practice, and you have done it very well, and they have become second nature to you because you have been doing it for 14 days consecutively. They should be very well in your memory, and you can close your eyes and think about them without any help whatsoever. And also, by now, you should have practiced the 8 qualities of happy people without anger, and they should be engraved in your mind. And also, you are promising yourself to refrain from those 8 qualities which brings us grief, and you're putting in a genuine effort to keep those promises to yourself. If you break them, you're the one at loss and no one else. And if you didn't do the work, you need to stop here because you may get overwhelmed because you will not realize what we are going to talk about next, since you have not put in the work to see for yourself and get close to your anger. Because by now, if we need to proceed, you need to understand that anger is nothing but a repulsion or a dislike towards what we see, what we hear, what we smell, taste, touch, or think in relation to the experiences we have. Nothing more, nothing less. If you have put in the work, you will see for yourself how you feel when you experience a dislike. If you have put in the work, you will easily identify when there's anger trigger and there's a dislike arising in you. So if you have not done the work, please stop here. Don't proceed until you have. And if you have put all the hard work, let's move on. I want you to browse through your EYA diary. I want you to see whether you can find a common theme of all those entries you made. By now, you should have at least hundreds. And now you have categorized each anger trigger into a worldly condition during these last 7 days, along with how impermanent the anger trigger was as anything else. It is always a new anger trigger which makes you angry. For example, say that you hate your boss and you get angry every time you remember him, because every time you remember him, that thought is involved with a dislike. But that thought which makes you angry is only temporary. It is not permanent. However, when you think of him again, say after a couple of hours you think of him again and you feel that dislike again, but that is not the same thought. The thought you had a couple of hours before is gone. It's in the past. This is a new anger trigger and you are responding to this anger trigger with a dislike. And after another couple of hours, you remember him again and you get angry again and so on. But you need to understand, in all these 3 instances, there were 3 different anger triggers. The thought involved a single person, but there were all 3 different instances of anger triggers. And none of those anger triggers are permanent. So by now, you should understand that we are only concerned about that snapshot in time of how your mind, thought, mind consciousness, bad feelings, or dislike identification of your boss and intentions came together for your experience of the worldly condition you dislike. And similarly, if you experienced that worldly condition which you disliked by hearing or smelling or by tasting or touch or thinking, we are still only concerned about the snapshot in time. Say, for example, we take hearing. We are only concerned about the snapshot in time, how our ears, the noise, the ear consciousness, the feelings, identification, and intentions came together for your experience for the worldly condition you disliked. Similarly with other senses. That particular snapshot in time always changes. That worldly condition of loss, being unloved, blame, including insults or pain, which you experienced, and the dislike you had towards that experience is also not permanent. They're all impermanent. This phenomena of impermanence is the key to controlling your anger. We will go through this in detail in the next chapter, but this is so important because we are going to use this to take the fuel out of the fire of anger. Just imagine a fire. What you need to start a fire? To start a fire, it needs a fuel like wood or petrol for that matter. It needs oxygen and it needs heat. When a fire is burning, what happens if we remove the fuel? The fire becomes smaller and smaller. And we are going to use impermanence as our tool to remove the fuel from the fire. When the fire is under control, we are going to splash the fire with a whole lot of water and remove the heat. And to do that, we use metta. We use metta as a tool to remove the heat from the fire. And when there's no fuel and heat, there's no fire. And to do this successfully, it is vital that you have done your coursework. It is crucial that you have done your activities on a daily basis, exactly as I have outlined in the last 14 days. Please do not proceed if you haven't understood any of the past chapters or if you haven't done the work. If you haven't by any chance understood any of the activities and haven't done them, you need to try to understand them by going through the chapters over and over again. Because if you don't grasp the full picture of the message in those chapters, we are not going to be successful. If you have questions, keep them coming in the discussions section. Remember, we spoke about building muscles before picking up a heavy machine gun? If you have followed exactly what I have outlined in this course, congratulations. You have built up enough muscle to pick up that machine gun. Let's move forward, guys. See you in the next chapter.